What's going on, my video viewing audience? This is Leonard Roy, and I got to talk a little bit about M. Reese Everson Esquire. Okay. All right. This one here. I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the same thing as the Black Lives Matters females. They got the money and ran. That's what I'm looking at. It's the only deal with her. She hasn't gotten the money and gotten the opportunity to run yet. But if it happened, oh yes, she would. Yeah, she was on a debate with what's my man's name? ABL, Anthony Brian Logan. Couldn't keep up. After she ran out of back in slavery days gas, it was over with. Same thing like with Shamika Michelle recently on this walkaway debate live in DC. Couldn't do it. And I'm sitting there like, okay. Now this is one that talks all of this reparations. But she does not have the faintest clue. There was no slavery Holocaust, prior to the get here. It was a slave trade. The reason it's called a slave trade is because you had Africans and Arabs that conquered other Africans, traded them, keyword, traded them to Europeans, right? For the use of whatever they wanted to use them for. Now, all of this reparations talk, repairing a wrong. Okay, if we talking reparations, then it's got to be taken all the way back to Africa, where it all started. See, you just can't go to 1619 and start there. See, reparations for slavery, 1619. You got to take it before 1619. You got to take it to the starting point, right? On those shores in Africa, where they traded those Africans away to Europeans for whatever purpose the Europeans wanted to use them for. Yeah. Now that's reparations since, we so hot on reparations. So you know what? And it's funny because all of this reparations talk, it wasn't being talked when Barack Obama was in office for 8 years. Oh no. Mm-mm. It wasn't being talked about. Yeah, sure enough. Just like when you had the Bush election, wasn't nobody talking about the mass incarceration of black folks because they know it was the previous administration. You had Gore running against Bush. Yeah, but y'all know Joe Biden wrote that crime bill that caused the mass incarceration of blacks. We ain't gonna talk about that because running for office, Al Gore. Yeah, see, and it's a trip. See, and you get those like that. This is their motivation. They fully understand how emotional modern blacks are. And they know if they pull on their heartstrings, they got them. And they also know that you had that period of confusion in the 60s, whereas Black America lost their way. See, when everyone talks about all this stuff that's going on and go back to slavery, you notice they completely skip over the 20th century, the first half of the 20th century, when you had sharecroppers that were black trying to unionize and they got pummeled, and then the Russians reached out to give them a hand, to give them some world press, and they were doing that. Then all of them were called communists then, right? Oh, so then they deputized all these other people And it kept growing and growing and growing. Oh man, got to the point it's like, okay, let's go. What about the Pullman Porters? You know, about that Black Man March on Washington that was going to happen because of the Pullman Porter situation. But Roosevelt, oh no, we can't have that because they see 100,000. There wasn't no Million Man March. It's 100,000. 100,000 Negroes marching, and it could cause yeah, all that. Don't talk about that. It's really amazing how all of these doggone black activists, and I call them activists because they active, like they got all these vices. Well, really, they just want that money, honey. That's what they want, the money. It's a trip. So I was just like, whoa. And that woman there, that M. Reese Everson Esquire, all them degrees she got, talking about her fiance and this and that. Well, if she's all highly degreed, evidently she's a six-figure earner, and she has her equal in a man, if not more. He's a six-figure earner too. All of this going on. Okay. The question that rolls and reigns in my mind is this. If you've got this super, super intelligent Black American woman, why wasn't she smart enough to get married before becoming a doggone unwed baby mama? By choice. It wasn't like she was young and it was in the heat of the moment. No, this is recent. Yeah, it came out of her own mouth. My fiance and I, we discussed marriage, and then we discussed children, and we discussed names. Everything was a discussion. Had that baby though. Ooh, unlike my doggone 6 years plus summer school to get out of high school, Chicago public school educated self has no college whatsoever, but I was smart enough to be married for some years, try to get stable in career before the then wife and I discussed having our first child. I mean, it's her fiance. It ain't no telling with him. Hell, he probably got kids already. You know how a lot of these brothers are. They got babies. babies all over the place, right? Then women find out later. Why you ain't tell me you had a son and a daughter? And you didn't ask me. Okay. That sounds like if you go to court, right? So, just so this highly educated Black baby mama, unwed, got the ring on, which is the engagement ring. It's just like, that's a joke. Just like I always say, if somebody's married, they decide they don't want to be together anymore, they split up. They get lawyered up, the paperwork gets doggone processed, served. It takes about a year to get divorced. So on the other side, if somebody, baby, I love you, put a ring on your finger, it should take less than a year for them to get married. Not more than a year. Because on average, a divorce takes a year. So how you not married in a year? Got kids and everything. All over the place, just like good goobly woobly. Got a whole family situation going on. Look like to the eye, but ain't nobody married. But Black Lives Matter. We want our reparations. Worried about reparations and don't care about reputation. And she quick to talk about all them degrees that she got. Boy, she got as many degrees as all that weave. Yes. Got to be more careful.